6 p.m. in Bafmen, that's a village in Fogom subdivision, Menchum division of the northwest region of Cameroon, same time in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television with me. For me, I'm Sean Sander. Tonight in our top stories, a bitter land dispute in Jong village, Santa subdivision of the Mesam division in the northwest region is leaving the Bororo community on the brink. Traditional authorities are accused of using the ancestral grazing land into a settlement, strangling the thousands of cattle rearers and threatening the community's very vital livelihoods. In this edition of the news, we shall be talking sports to say that Cameroonians and sports lovers have been commenting with sports analysts who have criticized the decision of the homologation and disciplinary commission of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, after they proclaimed Panthers Sportive of the Day Division winners of the Super Cup of Cameroon, according to sports analysts, for a competition that hasn't any laid down rules and regulations. Sanctions given to Column of the Ja and Lobo division in the South region is uncalled for. They are now asking for the federation to review its stance on the Super Cup game between Column Sportive of the Ja Lobo in the South region and Panther of the Ndé in the West region of Cameroon. In this edition, we'll be looking at the decision of the homologation and disciplinary commission of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT. These stories and more will be yours. Stay with us. And you made the right choice to be informed by the best of television network across Cameroon, the Central African Republic, the Central African sub-region. This is Equinoxe television, live from its central headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. Now we're starting on human interest to say that in the heart of the city of Douala, particularly in the Douala 5 municipality, at the Cité Sig neighborhood, the Jordan quartier is facing a disturbing level of insecurity, with local inhabitants say that they've lost sleep with activities of men and individuals of the underworld, most including inhabitants and local young persons of this neighborhood. The most recent of these threatening cases saw a young man losing his life, as we hear in the following reports compiled by Lord Manyekro.
Insecurity is on the rise here at Cité Sig Douala 5, precisely at Jordan Quarter. 4 deaths in the space of 2 weeks keeps the population in deep fear.
In the past week, hearing about 4 people dying in a week, being stabbed, has made me to feel like I want to shift from this quarter to another quarter. 4 people in a week, it's something unacceptable, it's something unimaginable in a quarter. We really do need security here. We need security to be sure our lives are safe.
According to the elders of the area, the suspects of these crimes are young men who live around the quarter.
For quarter, you go for some place, you won't come back, you fear na fear because picking them for quarter, they don't turn be an animal. Work on now cutlass, with knife, with stone, with broken bottles. So
Come Guillaume was stabbed to death while returning back from work. Few days later, a woman in her stroll is a new prey but survives from her injuries. Following these repeated cases in few weeks, a crisis meeting was organized by the indigents of the area to work on security measures to solve this problem.
Light no be there for street them for quarter, but we don't start for put small one them. We own effort. Not saying our government they help we for put that light. The whole quarter it no get light. I know say place where darkness there. Now for there where devil they sleep. So this quarter don't already be too populated. We would beg for government say may intervene for we. Even for this quarter, if we get set like police come or gendarme come, when I just a minor one for make security for the quarter really be good. It go help we. And secondly, we would beg for auto defense. Auto defense for inside quarter to go help we because
as sun sets, the population is in alert.
I think 7 p.m. should be maximum with the kind of way they are taking lives, the way they take lives of people. By 7 p.m. each and everyone should be back home until this is solved.
The locals urge parents to denounce every criminal, even if they are their own children.
Picking the way they be for this quarter be lazy. My parents struggle because when you buy dog, now you detain the dog the language where the dog go the year. So
the elements of the gendarmerie are putting in efforts to make sure security is re-established at Cité Sikh, precisely Jordan Street.
And authorities in the littoral region have stepped up efforts to address a green land dispute following an awareness and education seminar in the Douala 5 subdivision. Discussions focused on improving understanding of land laws, acquisition and procedures, as well as conflict resolution mechanisms. The divisional officer of the Douala 5 subdivision, Dr. Asungwe Kletos Anuafo, led emphasis on stronger collaboration between traditional authorities, local council authorities, and state institutions with the goal to reduce land disputes in the Douala 5 and the wider Vuri division. Innocent as has more in the following report.
Chaired by the Divisional Officer of Douala 5, the meeting brought together the class chiefs, municipal councillors and key stakeholders in land management. It held at a time when the subdivision is grappling with land disputes and related challenges.
We needed to clear some doubts. We needed to sensitize the traditional rulers, sensitize the municipal authorities, sensitize the population in general, represented by municipal councillors. You know, we have a lot of land disputes today. Disputes that come up because people do not understand the rules that they have to play. They do not understand the role of the administration in the management of land rights.
They come together focused on improving participants' understanding of land laws, regulations, and the procedures for acquiring land titles in Cameroon.
If you have a transaction that you want to make, come to us so that will help you. The state pays us to do that, and we are ready to assist.
Experts also highlighted the rising number of land disputes and the need for effective resolution mechanisms. Discussions further emphasized the importance of collaboration between traditional authorities, local councils, and the state institutions to ensure better land governance.
Of recent, the Ministry of Lands introduced new documents following the recent circular that was signed. It was an opportunity for me to sensitize the traditional rulers not to constitute themselves as an obstacle to the signature of these documents that will lead to the production of land certificates. Participants
engaged in exchanges on practical solutions aimed at promoting sustainable and equitable land management while strengthening their capacity to handle land conflicts within their communities. Land management experts say the initiative is expected to reduce land disputes in Douala 5 in particular and the Wuri division in general, as well as foster a more coordinated approach to land management.
The value of land certificates in Cameroon has degraded over some time because they are easily cancelled. It was an opportunity for us to review how to reinforce the law and make sure that land certificates that are produced henceforth are stable and that can permit people to go about their normal transactions with these land certificates. We are calling on the traditional rulers to continue to accompany the population without interest and to report any cases of excesses so that we can easily handle them. The divisional officer for Douala 5 receives everybody without appointment.
A call for continued dialogue and cooperation among stakeholders to secure lasting solutions to land issues in the subdivision was echoed.
And concerns are mounting over a deepening land dispute in Jong village, Santa subdivision of the Mezam, that's in the northwest region, where members of the Mbororo community say that they are being pushed off their ancestral grazing land. They accuse the traditional ruler of converting the land into a farm land and habitation, leaving thousands of cattle stranded and livelihoods at a brink. Mustela has more from Bamenda.
Tensions arising in Jong village in Santa subdivision, northwest region, as members of the Mbororo community raise alarm over what they describe as the gradual loss of the ancestral grazing land. The pastoralists accuse the Fon of Santanjong of converting designated grazing areas into farmland and residential plots, a move they say is threatening their livelihood and forcing them out of their community. The new traditional ruler of Jong says he is the owner of all the grazing land and has sold them. I was born here, I grew up here. Now that they are chasing us away, where do they want us to go to? Currently, over 2,000 cattle belonging to the Mororos are stranded in Baligam. Traditionally, herders move their livestock there during the dry season and return by mid-March when rains resume. The government had given us wires and grass to plant for our cattle. I feel sad because we have nothing to feed on. We are now finished.
We now get something where we go. It don't bad for we.
Civil society groups under the Northwest Land Observatory warn that more than 200 people risk losing their primary source of survival if urgent action is not taken. The situation is further complicated by claims of administrative bias. We have complained severally, but we are being ignored as the authorities are being corrupted. Contacted on the issue, the traditional ruler of Jong dismissed the allegations, stating that,
yes, that's my grazing land, which I'm developing. So we want to cultivate Irish to make the land soft and fertile so that we plant grass for my cattle.
Residents say the
I will not be leaving the northwest region of Cameroon. We move this time around to Ngi, a community that is getting a boost in the wake of the Anglophone crisis. Communities in the northwest and southwest English-speaking regions are slowly rebuilding. In Ngi subdivision, Momo division of the northwest region, reviving education is said to be a major preoccupation to elites and stakeholders. Beside this concern, Ngi, which boasts of enormous agricultural potentials, has a disturbing road network. Malak Glory has more in the following report.
The pathetic state of the road network is one of the major developmental challenges that welcomes every visitor to Ngi. Ngi subdivision, Momo division of the northwest region. Despite being heavily endowed with great agricultural potentials, traveling to Ngi remains a huge task.
Bulldozers and resurface. You see, culverts are not made there. Bridges. The drainage on the road is very poor. Even there are stones on the road which people ride on them, which is not right. And most of the places are muddy. If they were brought.
Officials say the road network is one of the many development projects whose execution has been delayed by the Anglophone crisis. Like the roads and other socio-economic structures, the educational sector in Ngi has been badly hit like elsewhere in the Anglophone regions for the over 9 years period. Pushed by insecurity and battered infrastructure, many kids in Ngi subdivision have been out of school.
There are things that children will use till next year. And if you catch any parent that has a child in their house and refuse to send that child to school, I am begging you people that you should take the case to the mayor so that we'll know how to treat him.
A preoccupying situation for Ngi's sons and daughters based in the United States of America, who under the umbrella of their cultural and development associations, CADA, reach out to revive education in the crisis-hit locality.
We want all Ngi children to be educated. That is why you see all these things that are here, our children over there, they struggle
to help schools in Ngi from nursery, primary and secondary levels. And we have even gone to the level of...
With didactic and cash aid, the people identified and boosted both functional and struggling schools in the area.
It's going a long way to enhance not only the teaching and learning, especially the administration of the school. So I want to really thank CADA USA.
The locals and learners were very happy, and like Oliver Tweez, plead for CADA to equally look in the health sector.
And now we come back to the littoral region from the northwest to say that the divisional officer for Yabasi subdivision of the Camp Division, Alphonse Abina, meets the people of Ndokba village in the middle of the forest because of the very bad state of the road leading to the village during his tour. The divisional officer and his team of administrators gave up on the way and had to meet with the people in the midst of the forest, as Tablet the Anabila tells us in the following report.
Moving from anywhere in the Nkam division to the Dogba village is a nightmare to the villagers. The absence of a proper motorable road to and from the village is a major problem to the indigents. They have to trek for several hours through thick forest before arriving in Dogba village.
Nous avons mis des pieds jusqu'aujourd'hui, nous n'arrivons pas à rentrer dans notre village.
In his Meet the People tour, the new deal for Yabasi Alphonse Sabina was unable to make it to the Ndogba village. He had to meet with the people in the middle of the forest because him and his team were tired of trekking.
Les villages ont les problèmes qui sont communs, mais chaque village aussi a des problèmes qui lui sont spécifiques.
Alphonse Sabina says every village has its own preoccupation, but that of the Ndogba people is worrisome. The village is very enclaved. Elites and patriarchs of the area say because of the high level of underdevelopment, no reasonable official residence has been constructed in the village.
Donner les facilités aux fils, parce qu'il y en a qui sont prêts à venir construire les maisons dans ce village.
They also complain about the chief of Ndogba, who according to them has not been collaborating with the local population. The chief, His Majesty Jean-Paul Mbang, says the opposite camp is just and unlucky and the pill is bitter for them to swallow.
Les états d'âme ne nous arrêtent pas. Le développement se fera avec ceux qui veulent faire le développement.
The deal for Yabasi before passing with the people of Ndogba in their meeting in the heart of the forest called on the locals to remain calm as the authorities concerned are looking into their problem, especially that of poor road network.
Ils ont complètement été découplés. Il est question que les enfants de l'arrondissement reviennent.
And we talk something else now, health in this edition of the news. To say that according to reports, preeclampsia and eclampsia are a leading cause of maternal mortality in Cameroon, accounting for approximately 24.3% of all maternal deaths across the country. A disturbing situation to most women who are calling for urgent measures for authorities to multiply educative programs for pregnant women, while women are urging for frequent antenatal visits when pregnant. We have details with Staff Lady Malak Glory in the following report.
At least one in every trial pregnancy, many expectant women are unaware of preeclampsia, a complication that is a danger to pregnant women and which has led to the loss of lives. This is characterized by high blood pressure and organ damage arising during the second half of pregnancy, in labor, or in the first week after delivery. Talking to a gynecologist who is also an obstetrician, Dr. Emma P. Honore, he highlights other complications that comes with preeclampsia.
Woman which is pregnant who can have high blood pressure, it means that more than 14 to 19, edema and protein inside the urine. That is the preeclampsia. After the preeclampsia, if you don't take care, the patient does not have any treatment, she can have the eclampsia, which is convulsion, HELP syndrome, kidney problem, and another disease, heart problem.
Once you are diagnosed with preeclampsia, it can lead to eclampsia, and the consequences can be disastrous to both the mother and the baby.
The baby will not grow normally. The baby can die inside the uterus of the patient, and they can make the premature delivery. The woman can die. We have to notice it.
In order to be safe, protect the pregnant woman and her baby, the doctor recommends frequent checkups.
The woman should follow normally prenatal consultation. They should go to the hospital as they usually say, not be followed by the person that have an habit to follow the pregnant woman.
In a way to limit the number of deaths caused by preeclampsia in women, health authorities are therefore called upon to multiply sensitization campaigns to educate these women on the silent killer, as well as urging them to see the doctor in case of any complications in their pregnancy in order to save their lives and that of the child.
From health to religion, Muslims have been urged to remain close to Allah, remain in the spirit of giving even after the month of Ramadan and the feast of Ramadan. It is a call from a Muslim cleric who took time to explain just how a Muslim should live his life after the holy month of Ramadan. He was speaking to us in the city of Douala. Take a listen.
The advice that I can give to my brothers Muslim and sister is that good deed does not only end in the month of Ramadan. We consider the month of Ramadan as a training moment. So today we have to apply what we have been going through as training. So we have many things that we have to do in this month, in these days around, but especially this month, we are in Shawwal. We have another fasting that we usually call it Sita Shawwal. The Messenger of Allah mentioned in one of his hadiths that he who fasts in the month of Ramadan and follow up with 6 extra fasting in the same month, you will be rewarded as someone that have fasted throughout the year. What we have to do this moment, we have our daily prayers that we used to perform 5 daily prayer in the day. We have to continue with it. We also have fasting that we usually fast Monday and Thursday, and many other acts of worship that all of us know it already. We have to make charity. We have to do many good. We have to show people that what we have been passing through in the month of Ramadan, we have not abandoned all day. It's not everybody that they are calling in the month of Ramadan to come and fast. Allah, God is calling for the believers. He says, fasting in the month of Ramadan has been prescribed to you people, the same as he prescribed to those that came before you people, in order for you to have what we call taqwa, fear of Allah. That is our benefit in the month of Ramadan.
Imam Musa is a Muslim cleric, but also a Muslim member of the Bonandale Muslim community that's in the Douala 4 municipality. He met us in the Douala 2, that's at the Denye Poto neighborhood of the Douala 2 municipality. Now, we talk sports. As we told you, sport analysts across Cameroon have criticized the decision of the homologation and disciplinary commission of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, after they proclaimed Panther Sportive of the Ndé division as winners of the Super Cup in Cameroon. According to sport analysts, for a competition that hasn't any laid down rules, the sanctions given to Column Sportive of the Jan Lobo in the South region were uncalled for. They now are asking for the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, to review its stance on the Super Cup game between Column and Panther of the Ndé. They were speaking to sportsman Simat Njikan Gabriel in the following report.
After the refusal to continue the Super Cup game against Panther Sportif of Ndé on grounds that the referee gave a dubious penalty to Panther Sportif of Ndé, Column Sportif of Jan Lobo have been sanctioned by the Federal Commission of the Homologation and Disciplinary Commission of FECAFOOT. According to the sanctions, Panther Sportif of Ndé were declared champions as Column of Jan Lobo forfeited the game, losing 3-0. Column Sportive of Jan Lobo have been fined 35 million francs CFA, 30 million francs CFA to be paid by the club, and head coach of the team, Richard Towa, was fined 5 million francs CFA. Column Sportive of Jan Lobo was also sidelined for this year's edition of the Cameroon Cup, while the 11 players who boycotted the match have been given 2-match suspension each, with the head coach, Richard Towa, handed a 6-month suspension and Ejian Doko Allen, president of Column Sportif of Ja and Lobo, given a 1-year suspension. Unfortunately, officials of Column Sportif of Ja and Lobo only learned about the sanctions on social media. Nevertheless, in a media release, the president of Column Sportif of Jan Lobo has indicated that they will use all necessary steps to vindicate themselves.
And that is where we end this edition of News on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so very much to the technical team. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your keen attention. We urge you to stay in the company of interesting programs on your #1 television network, Equinoxe. Now, our next edition of News will be in the French language. that will be at 8 p.m. Information continues on Equinoxe. But that's for me. Check the rendezvous for tomorrow, Wednesday, same time on same platform. Stay blessed.